Why is it that when we have certain thoughts, they seem to just like drift far out into the abyss? Worry. Worry would be the best example of this. When we worry about certain things in our lives, for some reason, it spirals into something outrageous that we would actually never think on a daily basis. Things like maybe a loved one has arrived a few minutes late, and you've been worrying, thinking that maybe something's happened to them. Maybe they're in the hospital, or maybe they just hit every single red light on the way home. Right? This is where our mind can spiral into craziness. Or maybe you're going after a goal that you want to achieve, and this goal, the time frame that you put in, you thought maybe, okay, it's going to be a couple days and I will achieve this goal, or maybe a week, and now it's been a week and a half, or maybe 2 weeks. You're like, oh, you know what, maybe I'm not actually in alignment with this goal. Maybe I'm supposed to be doing something else. And that is what over the top thinking is. We exaggerate what we're doing. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So on today's episode, I want to talk about your life is created by your thoughts. Don't think you can, think you will. How to limit your over the thought thinking, and focus on your goals and not your thoughts. Because what you focus on grows, right? So what is over the top thinking? Well, it's an excessive or exaggerated thought. We think something over the top that we actually don't believe is going to happen, but because of maybe our past experiences or maybe certain things that have happened in our lives and things that are going on, it brings that belief into the front of our mind, the forecenter of our thoughts. This is how your life is created. Your life is created through all the thoughts that you have. You have over 50,000 thoughts per day. 50,000 thoughts. Some are probably, you won't even recognize, they'll come and go. But some really hold your attention, and some really hold your focus. And then some get exaggerated. And you wonder why you're thinking this thought. You're like, why would I think that? I don't really believe that's going to happen, but why is my mind going into this outrageous over the top thinking? It's because of certain things that you've thought in the past, or maybe certain things that have happened to you in the past. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So how is your life created by your over the top thinking? Well, we have over the top thoughts. Now these are the worry and the fear that we hold in our mind, thinking something that's actually probably never gonna happen, but we worry that it will. We overestimate or underestimate what we can do, right? We believe that we are able to accomplish things that really aren't in alignment to where we are. And then we believe that we can't accomplish things that are in alignment, but we've hit a roadblock. So we think that maybe that's as far as we can go. And that's not necessarily true. Maybe that's where your over the top thinking is gone, saying, nah, you know what, I may have to cross that boundary. I may have to do that extra step. And you stop yourself because of fear. What about comfort versus progress? I believe that 95% of this world are comfortable. They go to work, they get paid their monthly payment, their check, and they're right before their payment, right before their monthly outcome. They're like, okay, well, I just have enough to make it through this month again. But you know what? Maybe if I do the same thing again next month, it'll be different. Is it? No, it never is. It's always the same because they're comfortable. They're like, well, this is my process. This is my routine. But when you want to progress into something that you want to become, or you have a goal that you want to achieve, to get out of that comfort, you have to move yourself into a place of uncomfort to move into that goal. Don't think you can, think you will. Words that we use in our mind are the things that are stopping us from achieving that goal that we want. Do you think you can achieve anything you want in this life? That's a question that I really want you to kind of ponder over and think about. Or do you have limitations within yourself? Those limitations are what's keeping you stuck in that area of comfort. You're like, man, I would love to get out of this job and do something with my life that I love, that I get excited to every day. But maybe I won't get paid every day because it's a different path. Or maybe my pay will get cut because this other job has a lower pay wage. These are the things that frustrate us. And these are the things that stop us from getting to that place that you want to get to in your life. Doesn't matter the size of the goal. If you want it bad enough, you will achieve it. We're our own limiting ourselves. We are only limiting ourselves. What is that goal that you're wanting to achieve? Do you really want to get to that, the time in your life where you're doing the rocking chair test, where you're sitting there as an old person, rocking back and forth going, wow, I regret not doing that. I regret not traveling. I regret staying in that job for 35 years or 25 years that I absolutely hated. I regret not going after. ... These are your lives. This is your choice. But when you decide, I'm not going to have those regrets. I'm not going to live that life where I don't get to control it. This is where your limits will skyrocket and you won't have any. You'll shoot them out of a rocket ship and you will not have these limiting beliefs because you'll say, no, if I want to do that, I'm going to do that. It doesn't matter the size of your goal. If you want it bad enough, you will achieve it. You will. You just got to keep pushing. Then you hit a roadblock. Jump over that roadblock and go after that. The only limitations we have is what we put in our mind. So begin to erase your mind of those limiting beliefs that you have and go after those goals that you want. What over-the-top thinking can do for you, it can limit your potential, which we just talked about. We put it into a little box and we say, no, I don't think I can do that. It keeps you stuck in the past. Our life right now, our beliefs are all based on everything that we've been through in the past. Everything that we've worked through in the past is what our life is based on today. But if you change your focus on tomorrow and your goals for the future, this is where you will change your focus and you'll be able to see that you can do the things that you want. But when you get stuck in the past, you can't move past that. Over-the-top thinking can cause you more stress. Wow, how many times have you just laid in bed in the morning going, wow, great, I got to do another day. I got to get through this. Especially with people like me and some of you that may be listening, suffering with post-traumatic stress disorder. These are kind of thoughts that we have to get through every day. And they cause more stress in our lives, which is where you have to learn to really control your life and really control your thoughts. Over-the-top thinking controls your life, either in a good way or a bad way. That's up to you and what your thoughts are. So, what do we do now? We learn how to limit your over-the-top thinking. How are you going to limit these crazy thoughts that we have in our mind? And what I wanted to do today is just give you 5 great tips that you can do on a daily basis to really limit this over-the-top thinking. First is to have a plan. What can you do when worry or fear comes into your mind? Can you put a positive thing? Can you say, you know what? I don't really believe that's going to happen. I'm going to focus on something else. And that's where it comes to the second point here, is to write down rationally what could or couldn't happen. Now, I read a book once about, I can't remember what it was called, but it was all about collapsing and compartmentalizing your fear. And one of the steps in there was to take the worst case scenario. Okay, so if this happens, what is the worst case scenario that would actually happen? Sometimes it might be death, right? Death would be the worst case scenario. But then you go, okay, what's the likelihood of that actually happening? It's probably slim. Okay, so let's step back and then step back. And then you actually kind of get to a place where you rationally go, yeah, you know what, this the likelihood of that actually happening is not going to happen, and your stress will leave. You just have to kind of take it back. Yeah, that over-the-top thinking is going to come into our minds. That's part of life. It's part of what's going to happen. But when you have a plan, it'll be less and less. Does what you think make sense, and what are the chances, right? So when you build that rationale, then you'll be able to create that plan and say, you know what, this really doesn't make sense. So do this every time you have that over-the-top thought, that you have that worry, that stress, that unachievement of that goal, that fear. Okay, if I actually do have this fear, can I get past it? My answer is absolutely. You can get past anything you want. Don't stop until you know the outcome. That's number 2. Don't stop until. Know your outcome. What do you want? Why are you going after this goal? What is this thought trying to teach you? Get support from others. What are the people around you trying to tell you? Right? Some people are trying to hold you back because that's where they're at and they don't want to see you succeed. That's fine. That's their life. That's their prerogative. But don't let it be your life. Keep going. Keep going after it. Don't stop. Okay? Have your goal, know your outcome, and keep going until you achieve that. Third is to focus on your future. Right? Focus on where you want to go, what you want to do, the goals you have set, the life you have. When your mind kind of starts having these over-the-top thinking, go back to where you want to go, not your past. Your past is going to keep you stuck. Your past happened. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't change your past. That has built your beliefs. It built your values, built you who you are today. But move forward into where you want to go and who you actually want to become, and put your focus on that. Number 4 is to do something every day to move yourself towards your goal. What actions can you take on a daily basis that are going to move you towards that goal, that are going to remove those over-the-top thoughts, that are going to limit them, so that you can become that person that you want to truly become in your life, to get past the depression, to get past the post-traumatic stress disorder, to get past the worry, the fear. What are things that you can do to move yourself towards that? And finally is know your why. This is probably number 1, but you know what? When you've gotten all the other 4 down, when you can actually know why you want to do something, your life is going to change. So what will push you past your stopping points? What will push you past those fears? That thing when you get up in the morning and go, ugh, great, it's another day. I don't feel like getting up. What can you say to yourself? What positive thing can you say to yourself that's going to change those thoughts, that are going to help you become that person that you truly want to become? Have this in your armor, right? Have this in your wicket for when you throw your bows and arrows. Know what you want to say. Dig deep to know the really meaning behind your goal. Why do you want to achieve what you want to achieve? Why do you want to stop being depressed? And this is a self thing. You can't be like, well, because the world says you shouldn't be depressed. That's the world. Why do you feel that you want to stop being depressed? Why do you feel you want to achieve that goal? This life is your life. This life is your journey. Don't worry about the world says. Don't worry about anything else. Worry about what you want and where you want to go. And knowing your why will also increase your potential, because you'll have the drive to say, no, I really want this because of this, this, and this. And that is where you will create that life that you want. So today's exercise, I want you to spend some time this week and focus on a goal. Okay? Keep your mind shifted from the negative to the positive outcome. Something that when you achieve it, it will change your life. So when you're having some over-the-top thoughts, come back and focus on your goal, on that positive. Negatives will say, no, you're never going to achieve that. Or it'll go down and be like, well, you don't have the resources, you don't have the money, you don't have the time, you don't have the people around you to achieve that. Those are negative outcomes. What are the positives? I can find the money. I can meet the people. There's Facebook, there's all sorts of ways. Shift it, okay? Spend some time this week and focus on that goal you want to achieve. And change your life. That's what this podcast is all about. It's all about changing your life to how you want to live it. It's all about creating that life that you want to live. Not that I want you to live, not that even parents, siblings, friends, that they want you to live. What's the life that you want to live? What's the life that you want to create? This is the one that you want to build your goals around. I have a free guidebook that I've created about setting smart goals, knowing your why, and self-belief. I put a link in the description. Go get it. It's just a PDF. If I don't get your email, it's just go grab it and use it and really create that life that you're wanting to do. Here's the final question I'm going to leave you with. When you achieve your over-the-top goal, how will it make you feel? And the goal here is to feel that now, that you've already achieved that goal, that you've already created that inside you. And go into every day that you're wanting to move towards your goal and feel that. I feel amazing now that I've achieved this. My life has changed because I've achieved this. And that's how you feel every day. And the final quote for today, the mind is just like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets and the more it can expand. Thank you all. I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.